we revolutionized the podcast industry.
Yep, we're
I,
live
I
now.
think I think slowly but surely that is happening. We are revolutionizing the podcast industry.
How can it not?
Did you say we're live?
Yep.
Okay. Well,
Oh, oh,
greetings, people of Earth.
Earthlings.
Welcome to the Bunsen Burner Recordings podcast, episode 9. So with that, now I can ask you, Fred, Paul, how was you guys this weekend?
Well, we had a long weekend here. I don't know about you guys. I think you guys.
Yeah, we did too, kind of.
You had Tuesday off, right?
Yeah, we had Tuesday off. Well, I had Monday as well, but that's just because my job isn't
That's happened.
normal. Mm-hmm.
No.
Yeah, so what'd you guys get doing?
I saw the Indiana Jones movie.
Any good?
Yeah, was that good?
Surprisingly good. Here's a good way of looking at it. Do you like Crystal Skull?
Never seen it.
Oh, you're better off. This was better. It was,
I only saw Temple of Doom, weirdly enough.
That's the only one you've seen?
Yeah. I saw the original one on the plane, but I don't know. I couldn't focus on the movie on the plane.
I was going to say, it still counts if you're in the air, right?
Sure.
But no, this one was, so the thing with Crystal Skull is, well, it sucked. But this
That was the alien one, right?
Yeah. So this one, like, the material isn't any more believable than any of the other ones. But it was done well, and that's all I really wanted. So it had a bunch of chase scenes, a bunch of dungeon crawling, and a bunch of Nazis trying to change history by going back in time. And it
Something like that in the first one that happened, right?
The first one, they were trying to get the Ark of the Covenant to harness the power of God. And in the third one,
that was that big shining light.
Yeah, and in the third one, they're trying to get the Holy Grail to get the power of eternal life. So
The Nazis are trying to get the Holy Grail.
yeah,
So okay,
And
I
at the
didn't
beginning
realize
of
the
this
Nazis had.
at the beginning of this one, the Nazis are trying to get the Spear of Longinus.
Just
And,
like the band.
Yeah, and at the then, I mean, mild spoiler alert, but we all know it's not about that. But they realize the spear they have is a fake, but their archaeologist is trying to convince them to go after the Antikythera instead, the Dial of Destiny. So that's how that movie starts. But yeah, just a good way of closing off the series. It was in the spirit of all the other Indiana Jones movies. It was fun. Nothing too cerebral. Just a bunch of running around, dodging shit, and trying to find shit.
All right.
Yeah.
So this was the last one in the series?
Yeah, because Harrison Ford is not reprising the role moving forward, right?
Gotcha. Yeah, I don't really know too much about Indiana Jones. Like I said, I saw the second one like as a kid. Don't really remember too much of it besides that dude's face melting and that guy with the really cool like horn helmet thing.
Okay, the dude's face melting is the first movie.
Oh, is it?
Yep, that's Ark of the Covenant.
Okay, the second one is the one with the guy with the yeah. See, I'm like blurring these two because I've seen them as a kid, but I never really went back to rewatch it. Maybe just because I don't know. It's just one of those things.
The first one, when they open the Ark of the Covenant, everyone who's looking at it, their face melts off.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's always been like one of those movies. Not really Star Wars because I kind of got into that later, but you know when movies are like or like a TV show or a movie is like so popular and people kind of don't shut up about it and you kind of just avoid it. Well, in my case, I do that sometimes.
I do that for metal, like the
yeah, I get you.
And you know, it's stupid because sometimes like I really should. It's stuff I know I'd like, but I avoid it because people are talking about it anyways. And the one that I can think of recently that I should just shut up and listen to is the new Ascended Dead. I know I'm going to like it.
You will.
I love the first album, but because everyone's talking about it, I don't listen to it. It's stupid.
Yeah, you will like it. Everyone is talking about that one. But I would say like the right people are probably talking about that one. I haven't really seen anything like lame being attached to it, so
No, no, no. I'm
I would give it a chance.
110% certain I will love it. But
Yeah, you will.
just because everyone's talking about it, I refuse to listen to it. Not even consciously. I'm just like, no, I'll get to it. But no, that's just me being stupid.
I'll just say about that. It's really different from most of the like death metal, modern death metal that's coming out now and has been for like the past, I don't know, I want to say 6 years.
Yeah.
It's really different
Is it
in a good way.
similar to the first album, or like they must pick up where that left off more or less?
Uh, I couldn't really tell you because I heard that one when it first came out, but I never really went back to it. So I
Okay.
kind of don't exactly remember what it sounded like.
I like that album a lot. The only real problem I have with it is there's a weird interlude track in the middle that's almost like flamenco, and I'm like, what the hell is this? And that really kind of jarred me out of the flow of the album. Um, I mean, taken in and of itself, it's a nice track, but it didn't feel like it blended with the rest of it. So, but aside from that, the rest of the album is fantastic.
Was the first one more chaotic or like more like Finnish kind of groovy doomy?
To me, it sounded very bestial, to be honest.
Okay.
So
That's
yeah,
what the
definitely,
second one is coming from. It's more bestial.
yeah, definitely chaotic. Definitely chaotic.
So yeah, probably just picking up where they left off in the last one then. But yeah,
Okay.
it's pretty good. I heard most of it, and I haven't totally dissected it and like to appreciate everything. But from what I heard so far, sounds great.
I will move it up my list then. Not that I maintain a list of things to listen to. It's all mental, but
Yeah, definitely.
I will endeavor to.
Yeah, so I think since we last talked, Paul, we saw Asteroid City in the theater with a couple of our friends.
Yep, and we have big
Very mixed,
differences.
very mixed opinions there.
Might
You
come
know,
in
you know what
between
that
our,
is?
might be coming between our friendship here.
Really? That
Nah.
movie? That movie's gonna do it?
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh man. Yeah. Do you know what that is, Fred? Asteroid City.
Is that the one that's like set in the '60s
Yeah.
and they
Tom Hanks.
moved to an asteroid because Earth is screwed or something like that?
Something like that. Yeah.
Okay.
Won't give it away
I
for anybody
know,
who hasn't seen it.
I know about it, but I haven't seen it.
Yeah, it's that director Wes Anderson who's known for like kind of parodying himself and like in like kind of an artsy sort of way, but like
Okay.
new age kind of comedy, I guess. You know who that guy is? He did the Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou, the Bill Murray movie. That one was pretty good.
Yeah,
A few
yeah.
of them are pretty good.
Sounds
Grand
very,
Budapest
sounds,
Hotel was good.
sounds very meta.
It is. I think that was a big problem with this one. It felt like he was just referencing himself too much, and a lot of the comedy kind of takes a dive where it's like barely funny, or to the point where it's unfunny, and you kind of don't care about any of the characters or the storyline. That's what I thought, but I know Paul and Vince liked it.
I feel like Paul's gonna have a very different point of view in the immediate future.
Yes.
Oh man,
So immediate.
We got the jackhammer in the back. You hear that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the compressor next door.
Yeah, but
And as always, the compressor.
Oh my God! For once, the sound isn't coming from my side.
Yeah, and we were having problems with Paul's fan too.
yeah, I got it.
That'll
all
shut
fixed
off
up
in a
now.
minute.
I'm gonna revel in this.
But yeah, I like the movie. It was like his previous one, which wasn't too good either.
No.
French Dispatch. That one was like
Boring.
a movie told, or like a novel told through a movie, and then this one was like a play told through a movie,
Yeah,
but it was
I don't-
like
that didn't help either.
a documentary about the play through the movie. So it was like 3 different types of scope in it, and then they just kept breaking the fourth wall, but within each like texture of the film. Like the play would break the fourth wall into the documentary would break the fourth wall into the movie, and it was kind of weird in that way. Reminded me a bit of like the Holy Mountain by Jodorowsky, and
Yeah, I
then
like that one.
yeah, that one's really good. But
That was just strange.
but yeah, like Dan was saying, like the comedy wasn't there, the acting was a little bit,
Yeah,
just
the acting
something that
sucked.
it would just something that you like would assume a Wes Anderson like actor would be.
Mm.
Even even to like down to the cast, it was like everyone from like every movie besides like what
Yeah, you
maybe
have Scarlett Johansson, you had fucking Tom Hanks, that guy, what's that guy? Jason
A-
Schwartzman,
Adrian Brody.
Adrian Brody, the other guy, the guy with the funny, what the hell is his name? The fucking the guy who's the painter. I always forget his name. Uh, from Spider-Man. Everybody knows
Oh,
him from
William
Spider-Man.
Dafoe. Yeah,
Yes, Willem Dafoe.
yeah,
And he did nothing. I feel like they had all these
yeah, and Jeff
actors, but
Goldblum too.
they did nothing like with them.
Yeah,
Yeah, Jeff Goldblum too. I don't know. It was a strange
yeah, it was
thing, and
weird.
I
It
was
was like
disappointed by it.
Yeah, it was like weird getting kind of lost in the plot, but I think like the one line where he like went back to Adrian Brody and was asking why he like burnt his fucking hand on the thing was kind of telling of like the whole thing. Like it just straight up wasn't supposed to make sense. But like, what are you saying with that?
Right.
Anyway, that was that movie, and
Yeah, but I did see Beau is Afraid, and for a newer movie, I was blown away by that one. That was awesome.
that one's amazing.
Yeah, it just feels like a dream. There's really not much I can say about that one if without giving anything away. Even though there's not too much to give away.
Yeah, Fred, just watch that on an empty night because it's 3 hours long.
Yeah,
Oh, jeez.
it's Joaquin Phoenix, kind of doing the new Joaquin Phoenix way of acting. You know how he's like, oh, what, huh, like the scared guy. That's him. That's him. He's been like that since like
Her.
maybe before her. When he was doing that mockumentary, I'm Still Here, when he's like a rapper or something.
Hmm.
Did you ever see that one?
I I don't think so.
No, I think
Paul,
you
did you ever
showed
see
me
that?
some scenes from it though.
You'd probably like that.
Like when he's on Letterman and shit, I think. Right? Or
Yeah.
Jimmy Kimmel or something.
No, he was on Letterman. I don't know if that was part of the movie, but it was definitely part of the act
Yeah.
where people actually thought he was like trying to be a rapper, but he went insane and he's just kind of being a nuisance.
But yeah, that was pretty much it. And then 4th of July, obviously, and Fred celebrated that too. Just kidding.
Oh, saw
I saw
Emperor
it.
too on Saturday.
I celebrated Tuesday.
Yeah, same here.
Tuesday? Yeah, so did we. We had a barbecue and then I fell asleep. That was it. Watching Farscape.
Very nice.
And you just glaze over seeing Emperor.
Yeah, well, I mean, there wasn't too much. There's not too much to tell. I kind of got too drunk during the show, and a lot of it is a blur. But there were only two bands. It was Antichrist, Siege Machine, and Emperor. And like in not contrast, but like both bands, man, their drummers are fucking relentless.
That's what I've been noticing.
Emperor's
With
touring
like,
with Trim, right?
With who?
Trim?
Uh,
Accent
I- I don't know. I don't know who they're touring with. 'Cause, like the place was packed, totally packed. Like the entire every single space was. It was the House of Blues and by like across the street from Disneyland is where it was.
oh yeah,
So,
yeah.
Yeah, so like the parking lot was being shared by Disneyland goers and then the Emperor concert goers.
What a combo.
Yeah, I mean, I think Paul knows this. I'm not the biggest Emperor guy. I can appreciate what they do, but they did play the songs that I actually do enjoy from Nightside Eclipse. They played Cosmic Keys, Black Wizards, and I think Infinity of Thoughts Yeah. That's what they
All right,
played because
that's a
I
good
knew they
that's a
played
good
like
combo.
yeah. A lot of it though was like stuff that I wasn't familiar with kind of like clean singing and stuff. But I think that's kind of to be expected when you see a big black metal band that's been doing it for a long time. You're gonna get a lot of songs that you don't know what they are.
And they're just playing like basically best of each album at this point, right?
I'd assume so. Like I said, I did get kind of too drunk during that whole concert, and a lot of it was blurry, and I was like, oh man. I didn't even stay for the whole time. I had to drive my friend back home, and I didn't want to get a DUI or anything. But I can say I saw Emperor, and it was cool. I had a pretty good
Well,
time.
I learned today there's a tour coming here. For everyone who doesn't know where here is, Toronto,
Hmm.
in September. That I'm actually going to go to. This will probably be the first show that I'm actually interested in going to since the pandemic ended. Um, it's Mayhem. It's kind of a weird mix, but Mayhem with Cannibal Corpse being supported by Gore Guts and Blood Incantation.
Yeah, that's not too bad. I mean, you get three. You're gonna get a lot of stuff you like.
Yeah, like I'd love to see Gore Guts. Like that's I didn't think they would show up, but I've
I've
never
never
actually
seen
seen
any of those
Mayhem.
bands.
I've never seen Mayhem. Actually, I've never seen any of them
I
either.
think I've
But
seen
no,
Mayhem at.
I've seen Blood Incantation. It's not true.
Yeah, I think
When I
out
saw
of all
Blood
those,
Incantation, there was a guy in a blow up alien suit, kind of running around in the
Yeah, I
mosh
remember
pit.
you mentioned that on I believe it was episode 4. We were kind of getting into blood incantation a little bit.
Yeah, it was really annoying.
Yeah, I told you guys too in the group chat. Like right when Mayhem started, or not? I say Mayhem. I said that before too. When Emperor started playing, I was kind of in the back, towards the bar, and like right in front of me, a dude. I see a dude throw a fucking beer in another dude's face, and they're like kind of standing there, and the guy who threw the beer throws a punch and gets him right in the face, and this dude goes down, but he kind of gets up right away. And then this little chick, she's like, "What the hell? What happened? What happened?" And then this dude's like just looking at the guy who punched him, and then the guy who punched him just walked away, and that was it. So I don't exactly know what happened there. I saw the beer. That's what I saw.
reminds
I would
me
have
of Anthony at the show where he was like
Oh yeah,
cannabis corpse or something. I
yeah,
think.
Cannabis Corpse. Yeah, what were you gonna say, Fred?
just that I wish Emperor would have come here because I'd love to see them. I've never seen them, and I know they don't sound the way they used to when they back in their old days, but
Right.
I would like fucking Wrath of the Tyrant is basically my favorite black metal recording.
Yeah, that one is really excellent. That's the one I like
But
out of all the stuff they've done.
and you know a lot of people don't really look past anthems, but IX Equilibrium, or Ninth Equilibrium, whatever the hell you want to call it, is actually a really good album. Uh, Prometheus, I need to be in the mood for. So, admittedly, that one's not 100% up my alley, but IX Equilibrium is really solid. It has a weird, like, exotic kind of sound that is really unique. I don't know. It sounds like in Super Mario, fucking which one was it? Super Mario 3, I think. That level with the sun in the desert with the sun that wants to kill you. It
Yeah, it
sounds like
keeps
that
like
level.
swooping down.
Yeah, it sounds like that level.
I'll have to give that a listen and the album a listen because I don't remember either.
No, it doesn't sound like that level. It sounds like what that level feels like.
Ah, okay, I gotcha, I gotcha.
It's got that
Like
kind of vibe to it.
if you look at it while you're listening to the Emperor album, then it'll work.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotcha.
It makes
Yeah,
zero
Paul.
sense to anyone but me.
Yeah, I think I've talked to Paul about this too, but like I never really thought of Emperor as a bad band. They're just a lot of their later stuff after Nightside Eclipse. I've just never really gotten into. So I can't say they're a bad band. I'm pretty sure that all their stuff is pretty decently solid. So I'll give them that.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I mean, they're incredible musicians. Like even the album that I'm not particularly fond of, Prometheus, still has a bunch of tracks I really like. And that I remember reading a review for that when it came out, saying that it makes the latest Dimmu Borgir album sound like a hastily knocked off demo, and I'm like, that couldn't be more accurate. Like the level of songwriting and musicianship in that album is insane, even if it's not necessarily what I need to hear all the time.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, Paul just brought up something that happened to our friend when we saw that was the main band, right? Cannabis Corpse.
Yeah, I can't even remember who else played.
I think Mammoth Grinder played, and I can't remember the name of this technical death metal band that played, but I remember I think I told Anthony, I'm like, they were setting up and they had their big banner with their logo, and I didn't know who they were at the time. I wish I knew what the damn name was. I'll try to think of it later. But anyways, I told him, I'm like, dude, I have a prediction about this band. They're gonna be too technical and nobody's gonna like them. And that's exactly what happened. Too technical and nobody gave a shit.
Damn.
But yeah, that was that same show when that during Cannabis Corpse, some guy, he must have been on something, or maybe he was just being an asshole. But me and my friend are up near the front of the stage, and this guy punches my friend right in the head, like in the back of the head. And my friend turns around and fucking kicks him in the face, and they start fighting. And there's this guy in front of me, this guy, well, a guy who's shorter than me, and that's saying something. I'm pretty short. It's a little Mexican guy, and he has a guar back patch on. And he's like, "Can we mosh like adults, please?"
Yeah, didn't Anthony like headbutt that guy?
Yeah, he headbutted him, and he like kicked him in the face, and they were fighting.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
Then we got a picture with the Nug.
Yeah, we got a picture with the Cannabis Corpse weed nug mascot, and his like teeth were fucking bleeding,
Yeah.
or his gums were bleeding.
Good times. I can't wait to hear about your Mayhem Cannibal Corpse, show stories. You can.
Oh, I
us,
know.
Fred.
Fred's gonna fucking smack somebody in the head, dude. Wring their neck, stomp on their face.
Well, it's in September, so we've got a while to wait for that.
Yeah, if we know Fred, we know it's coming.
But anyway,
So watch out.
Why are we here today?
Your pick, brother.
Yep.
What do we got?
I picked an album from another Czech band. Seems like we're
Czech.
bouncing in between Finland
Czech and Finland.
yeah.
Sticking in the 90s.
Oh, this one's a little bit out of there.
Oh, yeah, just about.
Oh,
Not
no.
quite.
It's actually 1999.
Right.
The band is Avenger with their second album, Fall, Devotion, Wrath, and Blasphemy. Came out on Breath of the Night Records. Sure Fred knows something about that.
I don't.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't know
awesome
either.
label.
Awesome label?
Yeah, they that was a subdivision of Merciless Records, if I remember correctly, and that was so Merciless Records was German, and so was Breath of Night, but it was, I guess, curated, if you will, by Akhenaten of Judas Iscariot.
Yeah, I'm seeing a couple of their releases are on there, and the Absu other project, Melitesh. That like Egyptian, Middle Eastern type shit.
Yeah, I remember them. I have the.
Oh, I guess Sarcasm's compilation was on this too.
Yeah, Sarcasm was on there. Melech,
Krieg, Manticore, Judas Iscariot. Some
I
big
think
names
Black
in there.
I think Black Rain was on there as well. That's another Czech band.
Yes. No, that's the same guys from this band.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I checked that out. That was the one demo they did is pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was more death metal sounding, kind of.
With this one, I decided to check this or pick this second album because I heard the first one. I've heard I think their fourth one, Feast of Anger / Joy of Despair, and apparently they went off into another band called like Bohemist. I didn't particularly like what I was hearing on that because I think it came out in 2020 or something around that time. But yeah, when I first heard this album, it just really drew me in, just like with the type of structures and the way that their riffs are constructed. They kind of do it the way you do, Dan, where it's like kind of like 2 or 3 parter riffs in there.
Yeah, a
Um,
riff with like 3 parts in it.
yeah, and it'll just like go
Good
around a
at it,
couple
if you
times,
will. Hmm.
and they just have a lot of I don't know, when I was hearing them just based off those riffs and shit, I was just not bored. And then you listen more and more to like the drumming and shit. This guy's like doing some pretty like subtle, intricate shit as well, and even just having like a variety of blasts at his you know
Disposal.
yeah, at his disposal, where he's doing like a triplet blast, a bomb blast, offbeat type of blast too. And yeah, the vocals are fucking sick on here too. And let me see, just the way that they blend death metal, black metal, and doom to make dark metal, which I think their sixth album is called that,
Yeah,
Bohemian Dark Metal. Yeah, so yeah, when I checked these guys out maybe like a year or so ago, yeah, they just like really stuck with me, and I haven't heard really much of anyone say anything about this. Maybe a few, but I can bring those guys up later. But yeah, what do you guys think about this? I'm curious.
you want to
You
go
wanna
ahead,
go
Fred?
first?
Oh, me go first? All right.
Yeah.
Go me.
Throw
I'll
you
go
under the bus.
first. You hear me crinkling my notes? I spilled beer on them.
That's why they're so crinkly.
Yeah. So, with I might want to get started on like kind of the beginnings of this band, just because I actually went back and listened to like basically all of their stuff.
Yeah, that
And I
fucking sick ass death metal demo.
there's 2 sick ass death metal demos. The first one's pretty fucking excellent. I forget what that one's called.
Yeah, the
What
Minister
the
of
fuck was it
Madness.
called? Yeah, yeah, and then the Black Zone demo too. The Black Zone one like really reminded me of Garcharot from Finland. If you guys have ever heard of that band,
Mm-hmm.
you know them. They're like kind of like Unleashed, but kind of way better.
I know them, but I didn't listen to the Avenger demos.
Yeah. So, yeah, it reminds me of Garcharot, but the Avenger demos seem to be straight up like like they were listening to Finnish and Swedish death metal. Like
Yeah.
it has no American inflections at all.
Mm-mm.
It's just a very just heavy kind of punkish kind of yeah, just pretty down to. It seemed like all the American bands were like kind of tuned up so you could hear all the intricate shit that they were doing, while the Swedes and the Finns, like a lot of them weren't doing shit that was too intricate, so they were able to down tune and kind of bring the atmosphere to a more you know dark and punkish level.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those I would say the second one, the Black Zone, is probably my favorite. Like that's what the kind of stuff that I would look for, or at least like kind of brings me back to a time where I'm listening to like first hearing Swedish and Finnish death metal, like demo stuff, and kind of getting into the raw production death metal. So that stuff was excellent. And kind of to skip ahead through before I actually get to this album, I also listened to the Bohemian Dark Metal, and I know people like that one a lot. I know Nick from Hessian Firm likes that one, and some other people we know that are pretty big on that one. I don't know why, but when I tried to listen to it today, it like
Couldn't
made me
do it, huh?
mad.
Yeah,
No,
couldn't-
it made me mad. Like not in a good way. Like it just annoyed me. The atmosphere that album exudes. It's not like it's not bad, but the atmosphere that it exudes and like what it's trying to do, it's just I don't know. It just doesn't do it right. It's way too fucking modern sounding.
yeah.
It sounds like almost like a basic Mellow Death album from like 2003 4 or something.
Like in
Something you would
Simonium
never.
and shit.
Kinda, but even worse. That's the weird thing about it. It wasn't even that bad, but I don't know why it was like making me mad. It was pissing me off listening to that thing. I'm like, oh, dude, this is putting me in a sour mood. I got to change this. I got to listen to something else. Yeah. Okay. Finally, getting to the 1999 album. So this is their second, right? Sorry. You know what's one other thing too? The first album, fucking boring.
Yeah, it's kind of just like
It's
more.
really boring.
It's like kind of death doomy a little bit more. Doesn't really have too much of like that black metal touch to it.
I don't know what to call it. Like even on this album, it does on the album you picked, the doomy parts are bad. I don't like them. It sounds like something later Behemoth would do.
Yeah, I was gonna get to where I think a lot of this stuff sounds alike, especially like the doomer parts. It reminds me of like
Yeah, I kind of wanted to
Ikercock.
just I kind of wanted to get all the negative out of the way first.
Go for it.
No, but that I pretty much got to it. The I would say the two demos are pretty much flawless. They're really, really awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Great atmosphere, great sound, fun, dark, awesome. This second one, I remember when you first showed it to me, I thought it was interesting, and I'm like, okay, here's another band, kind of not quite like black, like bestial, chaotic, but it does have some sort of chaos to it where it doesn't give a shit that it's switching through genres constantly, like swimming through it or something like that.
Yeah.
But the again the first I keep saying this with these Czech bands, the Master's Hammer kind of comparison. Definitely the vocals, not too much of the music. But I might have been kind of right on that because I looked them up on Metal Archives and it says like right on their under their name that they participated in like a Master's
Yeah, comp
Hammer
and shit.
tribute CD or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
maybe that was right. But I think a big part of this band's sound and my favorite part is the like tremoloed melodic kind of upbeat parts.
Mm-hmm.
And also they do that mixed with these really strange riffs that go from chord to kind of
Chugs and
single,
shit, too.
not chugs, but like chords to like single, almost sweet pick kind of things, but on the lower notes. And I think a huge part of this band, or at least this album, is Adramelech's Psychostasia and Demigod's Slumber, Soul, and Eyes. I think those two kind of are leading a lot of what this album is. Even with some of the doomy parts, but yeah, Adramelech for sure are I believe are a big part of this thing.
That's good. Could even really pick that up from what I was listening to. I have like a few reference points, but they weren't those. So I can definitely hear that shit now.
Yeah, there was a comment on YouTube of the album. Somebody called them a third-rate immolation. I don't know that I would. I don't know that I would say that, but
Whoa.
yeah, whoa, bro. But yeah, I think the Adramelech thing is pretty on the nose.
Nice.
Yeah, could see that.
There was, oh, sorry. One more thing. There was the Minister of Madness demo. That was the first one. That one's fucking excellent.
Yeah, that one's fucking sick. It reminded me of like, you know how fucking Absu, where they were like fucking death metal before they went into what they're doing now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I think it was like the Temples of Awful or something like that.
Yeah.
That's what it reminded me a bit of, like just bands that are just go straight death metal, and then kind of leave all that behind to to do like I guess black metal and shit. They say hop on the train.
Yeah, that's why this one's kind of weird. It's like demos are great, first album is really boring, and second album is pretty damn solid. On the Black Zone demo, if you look that up on YouTube, somebody comments, it says underrated band, and then another guy replies to him. It says classic to real diehards, just unappreciated by the Funko legions that bankroll the egg roll lads at Goat War X and Nuclear War Now.
The Funko Legion.
Yeah, the Funko legions. I believe he called them egg roll lads.
I don't think he's necessarily wrong. It's it is impressive.
Yeah, there is something to be said about that.
Yeah, like some people like really just go for the trendy scene, right? And like the raw black metal scene is kind of what's trendy right now.
Yeah, Nuclear War Now is kind of leading that with their millions of releases of just a lot of obscure stuff, but maybe not everything that they release is good.
Yeah.
Well, they do have their ear closer to the underground, though, I think, because they've released stuff like Tudor and whatever, right? But
yeah, not saying that they don't, but saying
well,
maybe
like
not all
labels,
of it is good.
Labels like Go to Warx that release a lot of just raw black metal in large quantities. Newer bands, they're where sometimes it's debatable whether it's quality over quantity or which way that goes. And people who latch onto that kind of feel like they latch onto it for the cultness,
the underground status,
and don't actually listen to classic bands that these bands are basically just ripping off of, right? So
yeah, that might be a problem with I've heard that before too with like younger black metal fans where they are super into all this obscure, like really raw sounding stuff, but when it comes to what's actually like important historical wise or just like musical wise, a lot of that just is totally over their heads.
yeah, and I'm not saying that all these bands are necessarily crap, right? But like
No. Most I think we're kind of getting towards the fans rather than the bands, but maybe
right,
it's all
I
one
mean,
and the
like,
same. Who knows?
it just like blows my mind when there's people out there who like just rave about a band that clearly rips off, say, Emperor, and then you talk to those people and they've never actually listened to Emperor, and you're like, what are
Right.
they doing? Like these guys are fine, but like Emperor wrote the book on this sound, and it's pretty much objectively a hell of a lot better. So I don't know, but what do I know?
No, I think you're right. Most of the classic black metal albums are gonna be a whole lot better than any raw demo that's coming out now. I've heard that before too, where there seems to be a trend of people who shit on the like the OG fucking Norwegian bands and like won't listen to them because they're, I don't know, too popular or something.
I don't know about necessarily shitting on.
I don't know if you ever heard of that
It's
before,
not-
but I've heard that.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Could be if you actually don't like it and you have a fucking argument for it, but if you're just doing that and going, no, I'm not gonna listen to Dark Throne because yeah, everybody knows Dark Throne. It's like, yeah, but still that kind of doesn't matter if this band means something.
Yeah, all the bands, Dark Throne precedes their existence,
Well, all of them too. I know there's Mayhem haters out there too. It doesn't really make like it doesn't matter if you like them or not. At least have some respect for where everything came from. You know what I mean?
Have some fucking respect.
Just have some respect. That's all.
Get off my lawn.
Yeah, true.
What does Fraser say? I need to show you an etiquette lesson.
A lesson in etiquette. He like throws that guy out the fucking coffee shop.
Yeah. But Fred, let's hear what you got to say about this.
Yeah, we can keep going on there.
I heard this album a long time ago, and I haven't gone back to Avenger much. I don't know why. I only own one of their releases, and it's the live album, Live at Open Hell, from 2003. And I, even then, don't go back to it very often. I do go back to the Black Rain demo quite a bit. I don't know why, and I don't know why I don't go back to Avenger. In any case, listening to this again for the first time in what's probably like 15 years, I don't know why I don't go back to Avenger because it's fucking great. I really like the bass sound on this album. I like that it's audible. I like that it's twangy. And there's sections on the album that I was listening to it on YouTube, and the version I listened to didn't have the song breaks. So I don't know which songs they were, unfortunately. But um, it, some of the instrumentation that was over the guitars almost sounded Egyptian.
Oh yeah, those clean guitar like solo parts. Yeah, I definitely
Yeah,
heard those.
yeah, those were really cool. Like that was fantastic. Um, I got a fair bit of thrash influence in there, but not like super thrashy. But maybe it's just like the prominent bass making me think of Motorhead and just kind of connecting it to that. But um, yeah, I don't know. It's um, the I don't know why Niflheim came to my mind when I was listening to it, but just something about the sound made me think of those first two Niflheim albums. I don't know if that makes any sense to anyone.
I guess it kind of does. I mean, this thing feels more heavy metal than it does either black or death metal, if that makes any sense. And maybe that's why it kind of connects to Niflheim, because I always figured Niflheim as more of a heavy metal band, like at its core of what they do.
Yeah, and I think a lot of the Czech bands, in black metal especially, um, have more of that classic metal sound to them, right? Like Master's Hammer, Root, all that.
Yeah, yeah.
Like there's a lot of traditional heavy metal sound in there, and I think that's filtered down to the second generation bands like Avenger. Um, and I heard that a lot in here, and that combined with I guess the newer sounds of the second wave, yeah, made it a really interesting album. Uh, I agree with the Finnish death metal um, references you made, Psychostasia
hmm
and things like that. But I know I say this sort of thing for a lot of the albums that we talk about, but it's not a simple album to describe. Like
No, definitely not.
I find that
There's
it's so easy to just pull off like a comparison to an album when you just listen to it offhand, but when you listen to it more closely, then you start pulling out a whole bunch of comparisons that don't you never would have thought of on a casual listen, right? And then you're like, am I just like making shit up here, or is this actually making sense?
Just making shit
another.
up.
I felt like a big part. You know what? Also, it sounded like to me too was like again, I might be just making shit up, but bands from Denmark like Ill Disposed or like God
Infernal
Dethroned or something
Torment.
like that. Infernal Torment?
Oh,
May
so good.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, yeah, I kind of got that a little bit, and I also got maybe Angel Corpse, if that makes sense. Maybe not though. Maybe I'm just pulling shit out.
Yeah, I don't know. Cause they definitely take a lot of the savagery out of death and black metal, except for their fast blasting parts. Well, with the trems and shit. But other than that, I feel like they're pretty like regal and like kind of are presenting like riffs to the audience rather than like I don't know. It's like a presenting more of like the structure that's important, but also the components are like actually like really fucking sick instead of just having a bunch of slop put together in a structure. It's definitely I want to say um, the words escaping me. Oh, orchestrated. Like this music is like really orchestrated. Just the way they put everything together, even like to the point of like having the clean guitars at certain parts and the like little transition riffs that they have that are maybe like a count or two that just make the upcoming part lead up to it, foreshadowing into the bigger bang of it, so it has a bigger impact. Like they have a lot of that that's very subtle, but it's like if you were to hear it without it, it would just really sound disjointed.
Yeah, it is cool how some of the structures come together like that. Like you'll get a riff that sounds maybe like Autopsy or something, and then kind of blaring through into like something that sounds like Call of the Winter Moon main riff.
Yeah,
Dun, 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 dun. You'll get shit like that, which is I don't know. It's just an interesting way to write music, kind of uninhibited or unrestrained.
yeah,
Yeah.
they're using everything at their disposal and shit.
Well, it's yeah, and it really seems like they kind of again with the like genre stuff that really isn't there. It's like a metal band rather than trying to prove anything else.
Yeah, it's like a weird fusion of death black and heavy metal and thrash and everything.
Yeah, I definitely think like some mellow death stuff is in here as well. Maybe like early Arch Enemy or like maybe like second Cryptop or not Cryptopsy, second Entombed album, maybe too. I heard some of that with like kind of the more slower grooving parts.
Yeah. Well, I was like a lot of like influences I was hearing or what I was making up to compare to
Yeah,
was
just make it up.
was like fucking obviously Bathory is in there and a lot of like the rocking parts and shit.
Yeah.
And then just now Acrecock with like their slow doomy black metal sections that they have that I think you said you didn't like too much.
No,
But,
no, that reminded me of like I said, later Behemoth, but that doesn't really make sense. I didn't know where they were coming from. All I know, I didn't care for them very much.
Yeah, and it also reminded me of a little bit later Morbid Angel, like when they slow down a bit.
Yeah.
Like that shit. Obviously, the Swedish death metal bands,
Mhm.
and you guys are probably gonna think I'm crazy, but Caducity, just in the way that they structure and shit, like make it sound really like regal and fucking epic, like all uh, orchestrated, you know?
Yeah. Maybe not as an influence, but definitely as a comparison.
Yeah,
that
that's-
makes sense.
Yeah, definitely is comparison, not an influence.
That's funny that Fred brought up the Egyptian thing. I actually wrote something about that. I didn't like those parts.
What?
But dude, Paul knows this too. I tell this to everybody. I really don't like when bands do the Egyptian thing. I like the guitar. I just don't like it. I don't know why.
Just Nile.
Nile doesn't really do it that much though.
Yeah, they're Egyptian themed, but the music doesn't sound it. Most of the time, anyways.
But
I don't know. I think I always feel like it's kind of something to fall back on. Maybe people don't feel. I know maybe people don't feel that same way, but I always feel like
do the
it's kind of
Egyptian
a
skill.
cheap thing to do. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it is if you overdo it, but I don't think they did. They only came up in like what, one song, maybe two.
I think it was
Yeah,
like
yeah.
like
Maybe
or
two.
three. Yeah.
But I'm
So,
such a fucking dick. I just hate it when you do like when anybody does it at all.
Okay,
But-
so we've established you're the problem.
That's yeah. That's true. This album is no, but it is a good album. There were only a few components about it that I not hated, just didn't care for. The Bohemian dark metal, I kind of hated that.
Yeah.
This one's pretty damn good.
I think you'll hate their band that they changed into Behemoth.
Behemoths? Yeah.
Behemoth, yeah.
Yeah, that
this will
one.
be kind of an obvious one, I think, but I thought I heard a lot of what we heard in Amon's In the Shade of Death on this as well.
Oh, just so much like thrown in together.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Even, like,
yeah.
Even the production on it too, and
Well,
obviously,
this came out fucking maybe a year earlier than that one, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so like part of that later, even though they're sort of a bit
Later
late
tech
to
band.
that wave. I guess, you know, all the first ones are starting like 87, 88 and shit, but they came around 92, but they're just playing death metal. But, you know, I guess they kind of caught on to that wave a little bit later.
Yeah.
When 97 they started doing this shit.
Yeah, but Amon is so much more like they want to sound occult. They want to sound like an underground band. It feels like Avenger, even on this album, they kind of have ambitions to go far. It
Yeah.
feels like, even though the production is kind of, I don't want to say holding it back, because the production is kind of doing it for me too. It's like pretty fucking good. The production helps this a lot.
Yeah, but
It's not
objectively
it's not
good
amazing.
production.
It's objectively good. It's not. It doesn't sound modern, even though this. We talked about this with like Sacramentary, where that could have sound modern, and it probably would have worked. I feel like if this some of this, if it sounded more modern production, it wouldn't have worked. The production is kind of perfect for this.
Yeah, definitely.
This is one I don't think you can change.
And I was gonna say another thing about this was this band in particular. Obviously not too many people are talking about it, but it seemed to be respected even by the earlier bands from the scene. Like, obviously, I think some of the members went into join Master's Hammer later, like for live performances, as well as like tracking drums for them and shit. And I believe I was reading a Maniac Butcher interview, and he was just like, "Oh, name a few bands that are like, sick within your scene." And I guess I was reading earlier in his interview, he was like kind of being a dick to like everybody and everyone's bands and shit that are coming out, but he's like, shout out he shouted out Avenger. So it seems to be like your favorite Czech bands, not their favorite band, but one that they respect well enough.
Yeah, I see their name get thrown around quite a bit.
So out of curiosity, because we've done two Czech albums now, Amen or Avenger, out of these two albums?
That's actually a good one, because I don't. Man, we kind of gushed over Amen, and I didn't mean to shit on this band because I do like them. There was only a few things I didn't, but man.
Well, Avenger's my pick.
Man, yeah, but Amen was Fred's pick.
Amen's my pick, so I'm probably gonna go.
I know.
Too, right? So
Yeah, Dan, you're the tiebreaker.
He's the tiebreaker, yeah.
My tiebreaker? Shit, dude.
We can end this shit right now.
No, you know what, dude? I not because of you guys, fuck, but because these albums are what they are. I don't think I can pick between them. They're so different that you feel like you can't even really compare them that much. You could, like, kind of. Maybe Avenger by like a hair. Maybe. It really is hard for me to pick between these two. I think I'm
different, yes, but I mean, mushrooms are different from jelly beans, but I can tell you I like jelly beans better.
You like jelly beans better than mushrooms?
Regular mushrooms.
Shiitake mushrooms.
No, seriously. I don't know, man. I probably the Avenger album by like a hair, not by much, because I really did like both of those.
Fine.
Sorry, dude.
What for you? It's Amen, right?
Well, yeah, I grew up with that album. Like, I've had that album for what, almost 20 years.
Yeah.
And like I said, I don't know why I haven't followed up with Avenger very often, but obviously I haven't. So.
All right.
The same length of time to grow on me as Amen has.
Yeah.
Especially in The Shade of Death.
Well, let's see if we can change your mind right here. Listen to a sample. I picked the fourth song, the Call of Battle. So we'll go ahead and listen to that, and we'll be right back. All right, we're back from listening to
Call of the Winter Moon.
Call of Battle. Nice try. But
Nice try.
what do you guys think about that?
It's pretty competent. Like the entire sound that they have here.
It's pretty good.
It's competent, dude. It's slightly all over the place, but not enough for it to be like disjointed, like Fred said, at all. Really, it all flows quite good.
Ready?
Yeah,
Where are we?
that opening riff, especially with the drumming, total Man of War call out to me, while sounding like Immortal. Which, I mean, they're not too far apart either, anyways, right? So
No,
but it's like Man of War with Immortals production.
it's like
But yeah, to me it went back and forth between Man of War Immortal and Morbid Angel. Those slow bits. Paul's absolutely right. That totally reminds.
yeah. That's why I was saying this band sounds really
Morbid Angel
like
slows down in the middle of the song.
they're very ambitious with what they do, especially bringing in that heavy metal stuff.
Yeah, it's definitely fucking like I keep coming to it. They're just like regal, like how what is like Terminus says about Into Oblivion. They're like stately.
Yeah, this feels stately. This doesn't feel like not. It doesn't really feel chaotic at all. Even though there is so much going on it, like in the songs. Everything it builds really nicely.
Yeah, and those like two guitars, like the whole time, they're pretty much doing separate shit. At least in that song, except for the main Morbid Angel type riff and shit. But all the other times, like in the rest of the album, you can hear them, trading like counterpoints and shit, and it just really have to listen to it to find out exactly what they're doing. But when you do, it's like so rewarding to hear what they're doing.
Yeah, and like me and Fred were saying, the like heavy metal isms are still in there a lot, even though this is a Black Death band. You still get the feel that this is like kind of based in 80s heavy like honestly maybe even like King Diamond too in a weird way if
Yeah.
that makes any fucking sense.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah,
I was
it's
thinking
good shit.
kind of Black Sabbath actually. No, just kidding.
Uh, no, I think their Doom parts are too
I think
they're
it's
too
more.
modern
I think
for
it's like
this age.
My Dying Bride, if anything,
You know,
a little bit more
it's
romantic
hard. It's
type shit.
yeah, but it's not that romantic. It's more like it's more like a stadium metal band doing kind of dissonant doom black parts. It's hard to describe for me. I don't exactly know where they're coming from or like what it is, but they're at least interesting. Maybe I'm kind of changing my mind a little bit here with those parts
Did it
because
change your
maybe they
mind,
just
Fred?
are. Maybe they are just a bit original. Those are pretty cool.
So we'll ask you again, Fred. Amen or Avenger?
Ooh.
Well, now that we've talked about all this and listened to that song and gone so in depth a bit, yeah, still aiming.
Ooh, you know what? I knew that was coming. It's like, you know what? Now that I thought about it, fuck you.
All right, boys. We'll see you episode 10.
Bye bye.
But I mean, that's not to take anything away from Avenger. Like, it's a fantastic album. It's hard to separate yourself from an album you basically grew up with, right? So
Yeah.
Totes. Yeah,
But,
some of this. What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say another band I've been kind of holding back, because they're not really a point of reference for them or an influence, but more of a band that it seems like takes influence from this band, and you kind of foreshadowed it a bit with talking about Hessian Firm with Mephitis. I think they sound a lot like Avenger, or at least they have some parts that sound like Avenger and shit, where they're doing like the mix fusion of Black Death and doom metal in their songs and shit.
Yeah, that makes sense. I don't know about the second album, but definitely the first album because that's the one that you like, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The comparisons are like kind of there with the first Mephitis album. Like, what do they have there? They definitely have the Adramelech and Demigod thing, but they also have like a little bit Demi-Lich, and for sure like shit like Bethlehem is all over that thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so maybe not like all the same influences, but at least the same kind of approach to getting the sound they want and combining everything that they want. Because it kind of makes sense too that this thing comes out in '99. It sounds like '99. Like even with those doomy parts or some of the like Morbid Angel sounding parts. It sounds like later Morbid Angel, and it just kind of makes sense that it sounds modern. I'll just say that the album doesn't sound old school or like it's trying to be old school, but these guys have been around for that time, so you're still getting the love for heavy metal and also just kind of the love for basically everything extreme that's like been happening since the 80s, kind of bleeding out into where they are here in '99.
it's funny though because Paul mentioned hearing a bit of My Dying Bride in there, and I don't remember which album it was, but while I was researching them before, just looking over the discography before we recorded today, they actually covered My Dying Bride on one of their albums.
Oh, did they?
There it is.
Track. It was a bonus track on one of them. I forget which one, but there was definitely a My Dying Bride cover in there somewhere.
All right on the money.
Hang on, I'm gonna find it now. It's gonna bother me.
And then I was looking at that live album that you had, Live from Hell or whatever.
Yep, Open Hell.
Open Hell. That's a pretty good name. But they actually cover Hypocrisy on there.
Yeah.
So I thought that was a bit strange when I saw that when you mentioned it. But another band that I think I know.
Sorry. Here we go. The reissue of the first album from 2001. They cover "The Cry of Mankind" from My Dying Bride.
Hmm. Oh yeah, they put on that first one.
Yeah, I don't know when it was recorded. So if it was recorded like in 2001 or if it was recorded during the album sessions, I don't know. It wasn't on the original issue of the CD.
Yeah,
But
yeah. When I was listening to this through the week, I saw the release I was listening to was from 2001. But I was like, I swear this is from hanging on by a thread in the fucking 90s. But
yeah, I don't think the CD issue came out for a while. Like the first CD version of it came out in like, hang on, let's see here.
oh, I was listening to the Deathgasm one from 2001.
Yeah, so the cassette came out in '97. First CD came out on Breath of Night in '98, and then Breath of Night issued it again in 2001. And the 2001 issue is the one that has the Mud Iron Bride cover.
Hmm. And
So
then
it was probably recorded near that time, I think. But in any case, Mud Iron Bride, there you go. Legitimate.
Yeah, right. Yeah, total.
nice. I was gonna say another band. I know you don't particularly like Daniel,
Mhm.
but this it kind of like just hit me now. It reminds me a bit of the Chasm, actually.
Oh no, I never said I didn't like him. I've never really even listened to him much.
Oh no.
Not much. But
Besides like
I kind of get that.
besides like their heavy Slayer influence that band has, I feel like that's a little bit stripped from this. At least I'm not hearing too much Slayer.
No, I'm not hearing thrash in that sense at all. Really,
No.
like if there was Slayer influence, it's been totally covered up by death black metal.
Yeah, but just the way that they are structuring shit, just there's bands that put riffs together, call them a song, but then there's bands like this and the Chasm and Cadicity. Are they called that or Cadacity? I don't know.
I think it's Cassidy, but I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe.
Cadacity.
I've only heard myself say it. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I
but
never knew how to pronounce them either.
they all
Cadicity.
yeah, they all remind me of just kind of orchestrated songs and shit, where it's actually a little bit more, I guess, thought put into them, rather than like, oh, that part sounds sick. Let's have it
That
there.
makes sense, dude. Like the little I know of the Chasm, that comparison does make sense.
Yeah, I totally don't know why I wasn't listening to them this week to compare them, but just kind of hit me right now.
I think maybe some of those atmospheric parts where like the chords and strings are being like plucked individually to make them like ring out.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of what the Chasm does, right?
Mhm. And I was gonna say, because we were just listening to the track, and I don't know about you guys, but I was looking at the album cover, and I was wondering what you guys thought about that too.
That's like a famous painting, isn't it? Or like some old painting.
Yeah, I was seeing that it was like by this guy named Francis Danby. He does
It's like an Irish guy, right? Irish painter.
yeah, he does a bunch of like landscapes and shit. I think his most famous one is the Deluge.
So I think that's what this is supposed to be, right? Deluge, like fucking big flood, because there's some water, there's some people like getting sucked in, and then there's like an angel. It looks like on the right, like
Yeah,
a glowing angel or something.
yeah. It looks like people are hanging on for their lives on that little branch or some
Yeah,
shit.
yeah. I always liked this album cover. I mean,
Oh, you know what? It is the Deluge, but they just have it in a different color. So I'm looking at the original painting right here from 1840, and it's like actually blue. So I'm wondering if they did that just so they can release it.
yeah, maybe.
uh, it, it I feel like they must have done that on like for an aesthetic purpose, not because like the painting's so old that like it's public domain, right?
Hmm.
Uh, you don't need to worry about rights for it. But I'm curious to see what the original looks like now.
Yeah, you can actually see what's happening. But I thought they were gonna have like a impaled Nazarene Hare Krishna type of event happen where they got like sued for having the Kali Yuga, or I forget what that one's called.
Yuga Karma or something.
Yeah, that one. The original art was like, I guess they got it from a Hare Krishna book and shit.
I like that artwork. Did they get in
Yeah,
trouble for that?
yeah, they did.
They
With
did?
Osmos Productions got sued and shit.
Oh, well, it's still on YouTube with that version. You can still get that album version.
Yeah, but now you can see like the shitty one. The shitty
From
It's
Impaled
shittier,
Nazarene.
I agree. It's shittier, but it suits the album more, if that makes any sense.
that
Let's
brown
see,
one.
Yuga Karma.
Yeah.
I don't know. I really like that the other one, the original,
Yeah,
a
I
lot
like.
better.
Yeah, I like the Hindu one. Oh, wait, are you talking about the one with the gas mask?
Yeah. 'Cause it
Uh,
kinda has like a weird cybernetic vibe to it, which I think suits the album in that sense.
you know what? You're probably right about that. Like it does suit it, but
So just-
again,
But it is uglier.
This is just
It-
better art.
no, I don't know. It kind of looks a little bit too goofy, like to be taken. When album covers get too extreme, like this is pretty extreme looking.
Wait, which one?
The brown one with the gas mask.
Okay, let me.
Or am I looking at? Is that what you guys were talking about?
I was originally talking about. Oh, the one with. Yes, this one.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't like this one at all.
yeah. I don't like it either. It feels like a slam band or something. You know when the artwork is like way too fucking the artwork is way too detailed and like trying to be as brutal as possible looking. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like that kind of takes away.
Yeah.
As
that-
it like kind of in contrast of what the original artwork was. And then I was just thinking of this, Fred. You were talking about, well, not you were talking about, but you posted something about gore lust, right? Earlier today. Is Fred there?
Fred's out
Whoops, I
here.
went on mute.
Oh, yeah. I was.
Someone asked me about Canadian bands to recommend, and Gorlust is awesome.
The death metal band, the Reign of Lunacy, is that?
That's the one.
Are they Canadian? Oh yeah, they are Canadian.
Yeah,
I never even knew that. I thought they were American. They sound American. But I was kind of comparing. I was kind of comparing the album artwork to the last one we were just looking at. This one's not super detailed, but this fucking works for what they were doing. The like dead guy in a pool of blood in the piano.
Yeah, it's classy.
Yeah, I love that one. I guess that kind of does make sense that it's Canadian. It sounds American, but it also sounds a little bit off. There's a little difference there between an American band, and it makes sense.
Little
I
kooky.
think it's the.
It's kooky. It's fucking kooky.
It kind of fits with the Quebec sound, like the cryptopsy kind of sound, right?
Kinda. It's I don't want to say it's more brutal than Cryptopsy, but it kind of takes it like expands on the brutal parts rather than doing anything that like melodic that Cryptopsy would do. They kind of stick with the brutality.
Cryptopsy, to be honest.
That's okay. Which all of Cryptopsy or the good albums, you mean?
Yeah, I don't really like Cryptopsy past the second album, so.
Oh, I don't think anybody does. Or actually, that's not true.
I
Yeah, I know a couple people too. Paul, you kind of like a little bit of later Cryptopsy, right?
Yeah, a little bit, but I still prefer the first two albums over those any day.
Yeah, the first one that's got a special place in my heart.
Yeah, that one. It's fucking.
You see the
Really good.
reissue artwork for that? It's such garbage.
No, I haven't seen the reissue artwork for. Oh wait,
Oh,
I
my
think I might
God,
have
look it
actually.
up.
Blasphemy Made Flesh.
It's just like. Yeah, so the original artwork is like the dorky little brother of Arise from Sepultura, right? Some crap.
Sure.
Island, which is great.
Oh, then this
The
other
reissue
one.
on, I think it was fucking Century Media, is like
Yeah,
a yellow
it-
tinted picture of like a flower.
A little
pot
fire.
falling over on a grave.
Oh yeah.
No,
Yeah.
it's a thing of flowers
Oh yeah. This one's just lame.
over a grave. Like, what the fuck is that?
It's lame, and the wording too. Blasphemy Made. I don't know, man. It does look lame.
that's the version I own. I don't listen to it because of that.
Yeah, get the good album art, dude. I mean,
Right?
some of these
Like,
songs are.
I'm boycotting an album I own because of that.
I get it. I get it. I would say most of these songs are like totally memorable. There might be like a couple here I don't exactly remember like off the top of my head, but most of them I have like fucking stored in the memory bank. Defenstration, Abigor, the first four, yeah, Open Face Surgery, Serial Messiah, and for some reason when after track 4, when I used to listen to this thing, I would go to track 7, a Cryptopsy, and then skip to track 10, Pathological Frolic, and I always liked that song title. That's a good one, Pathological Frolic.
Reminds me of Pathological Performances from Necrony.
Who is this, Jeffrey?
Who is this,
lyrics?
Jeffrey? Who is this, Jeffrey? All I see is this cold cadaver. Hey!
Why is this Jeffrey lying in
It's
a
like-
puddle? Buzz?
Yeah, it's like you're fucking roasting Jeffrey. Oh, it was from the second album where he says my blood and my semen have betrayed me, right?
Mm-hmm.
Was that Phobophile?
Yeah, I think it was.
Oh, okay. And for some reason, Robert started bumping "Slit Your Guts" in his car the other day. That's the one with that weird little like Primus bass solo.
Mm-hmm.
Boom, 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 bam.
It's just fucking bad.
I was like Lich Mistress.
Yeah, Lich Mistress is good too.
Yeah.
I remember we were listening to "Slit Your Guts" at Anthony's in his old room, and you remember that guy Mellow Mike? You remember that guy, Paul?
Yeah.
Some fucking nobody. I remember he comes in and we're listening to that and we're grooving. We're fucking like acting like idiots to that song, and we're in the room by ourselves. And he comes in and he puts on some like fucking house music. And we're like, dude. I told him like, dude, didn't you see we were like enjoying that? I'm like, can you leave? I didn't even know who this guy was at the time.
No, yeah, he just walked in, put that shit on.
Freaking wiener.
Mojo.
Seriously.
You need a lesson in etiquette.
Yeah, I remember like that happens often. You'll get these weird, I don't know, like a friend of a friend that wants to like listen to like play something else. Because like when it comes to me and Trevor, I remember we like bond over punk and stuff. I think we were listening to Flipper or something, and some dude's like, "Hey man, let me show you something, fool." We're like, "All right," he's gonna put on some sick shit. Again, it's like house music. It's like boom, it's like what is it? Why are you going from here to there? And
Read
what
the
makes you
room.
think we're gonna enjoy this?
Read the fucking room.
True.
It's like,
Cryptops.
what are you listening to? Gorlust, Reign of Lunacy. You know what you guys would really like? The Blue Man Group. What?
yeah. That's kind of the comparison. That wouldn't even be that bad though. I'd be laughing if somebody did that and put on Blue Man Group. Dude, that would be funny. It's like, hey, this guy's got a fucking sense of humor. He puts on the Blue Man Group. They're like hitting those pipes.
Yeah, that first album cover from them is actually pretty funny. They're like in the studio behind like the mixing board.
Who, Blue Man Group?
Yeah.
Is that what you looked up?
No, I remember I had that shit on my iPod. Just hear them do their shit.
I cannot tell you what any of their album covers look like.
Yeah, look it up. There's like a fucking they're like behind some mixing board and shit.
So Blue Man Group, they were just like Vegas band, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just like Tom Jones.
It's not unusual.
Yeah.
It's lighting up here.
Yep, it's called Audio.
Dun, 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 dun.
That's accurate.
But yeah, boys, you guys got anything else to say about this shit?
Who, me?
Better.
What was that, Fred?
I like Damon better.
He did like Eamon better. That's, you know what? That's okay.
You wouldn't get it. No, just kidding.
It's too complicated for you, Fred.
Yeah. Third-rate immolation.
Yeah, I was hearing a little bit of immolation in there too, but
Yeah. I heard a little bit of that in there too.
yeah, definitely
But
stronger Morbid Angel for me.
I think my favorite parts on this were like the kind of what they were doing on their demos, but more melody, like the fucking thrash beat, like not the total thrash beat. Yeah, the slower ones, kind of the punk beat with the like melodic tremolos, and I really did like all the black metal parts, but it's pretty fucking solid, and it's pretty competent. So yeah, check it out, dude. It's pretty good.
Freddie?
I'm gonna go back and listen to more Avenger because I didn't get to listen to the demos.
Yeah, those
Or
demos
the
are
first
fucking
album.
great death metal shit.
Yeah, I believe it. So I'm gonna go give those a listen. I'm gonna play the live album I have too. It's been a long time since I've listened to that. And just generally check out more of their discography because I don't think I've heard anything past this album actually. And I really want to hear the album that really pissed off Dan because now I'm just curious.
Yeah, dude. It's curious to me why I even got pissed off at it.
I don't know, but you know what? I almost want to make that my pick one day just to hear why you're so pissed off at it.
Yeah, I would really have to think about it. I think the production has a lot to do with it, and it feels like the song structure and like the riff writing it's just not there. Because that was like way later in their career, wasn't that like 2012 or something like that?
Yeah, it was
It
pretty.
it I
pretty
think
far
that's
in
why I
there.
didn't. It feels like one of those early bands that you would listen to. Again, I keep comparing them to Behemoth or something, but it feels like one of those. But you don't have the fucking connection that you did at the time, and so it's just you go, ugh.
It's just there.
It's just there, and it's and it's the one. It's like an album that you would kind of make fun of your friend for liking or something. It's like, dude,
This?
yeah, that's what it feels like.
What are you, 12?
When did you get into metal, dude? Last week. It's like you go from Children. It's like a Children of Bodom album. It's like you go from Children of Bodom, then you go to there. There's like not much step up, and I don't know why, because this band has been around for a good while and put out some good stuff. And that album is just a stinker,
Yeah, it seems
and I
like
know people love it. That's what's so confusing.
I don't know. It seems to me from that second album, it started to go downhill gradually. But I know with each album that I've heard, it was the same components of Black Death and Doom, just shifted slightly to have a little bit more, like with the first album, have a little bit more death metal, have a little bit more Doom in that first one too, and then also lean more into the black metal with the later shit too. So they were just approaching Black Death in like in different ways with each album, but I feel like this one was probably their, the best they could do it.
Yeah, this is definitely their. Well, I preferred one of the demos, but out of the albums, this is definitely the best.
Yeah, yeah, they sound like a different band in with those demos though.
Hey, you know how last time when we were talking about Sacramentary, we somebody in the YouTube comments said like this is the metal heads or this is the metal guys like metal album.
Mhm.
I feel like this one kind of it brings that atmosphere too, and not
That's
just
what I was
atmosphere,
gonna
but
say.
just like it brings it. It kind of brings it all to the table.
Yeah, it
And
was
pretty
kind
much-
of, it
pretty
was
much
fitting well
succeeds.
with the old fuck, what are they called? Uh, the compilation that was on Iron Pegasus a while back, the Hellbangers, the Hellbanger bands that would that grouped up on Iron Pegasus, they would fit in really well with that. Band
Yeah.
Disaster.
Oh, definitely, dude. Yeah, this is very fucking disaster.
Black and death metal that's very influenced by the old style of heavy metal, right?
Yeah.
Actually, I
I guess.
wonder if they were on the Hellbangers. Now I'm curious. I'm gonna look up the Hellbangers compilation.
Now that you say that, and we kind of mentioned this earlier, but this kind of does somehow remind me of Maniac Butcher as well.
Yeah. No,
Like,
they weren't
because
on
if
the
you're comparing
compilation, but
Disaster too.
yeah, Urn, Disaster, Nocturnal, Flame, Metal Lucifer, bands
Oh
like
yeah,
that.
Nocturnal for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, the first Nocturnal album for sure, and Urn, because it's like with those bands, they're a little bit more black and roll, but not quite like Midnight or something. They still have the like giant thrash component. I would maybe even say like Hypnosia as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I could see that.
Hypnosia's Extreme Hatred, maybe.
No, I don't think I've ever heard that actually.
It's thrashy, but I think it kind of fits in with what this band is doing. Even though this album does seem much more ambitious than something like Urn or something like Hypnosia, and probably even Disaster, because it seems like Disaster has like a goal that they want to accomplish. It's like black thrash, but they don't want it to be cheesy. Maybe some people will see it as cheesy, but like it's totally just true to themselves.
Yeah. No, it's a good album. It's a good pick, Paul.
Yeah, thanks. I was gonna say my closing words for this was, yeah, I definitely feel like it's, if you're a seasoned listener, you've been listening to this shit for a while, and you've already found your, bands that you go to and can't really top. I wouldn't necessarily say that this band will top them, because obviously, Amen still holds true for Fred. But
Eamon's pretty damn good.
yeah, but
I'll say that too.
if you're listening to shit and trying to find the intricacies and subtleties of what you can do with you know this fusion of Black Death, doom, metal, this is definitely the album for you to listen to. And I've always come back to it mainly for their like conjoined like 3 or 4 part riffs that they have throughout it. I definitely recommend the first 2 songs off this album. Maybe just the first 4, if you're gonna listen to any of it, because those are definitely the most diverse in it, and they have the most conjoined riffs that I'm talking about. And you could just kind of see where they're going and what they're able to accomplish with what they're doing, because these guys are fantastic musicians, especially the drummer. So subtle and shit, but he's doing some really intricate shit. But yeah, give this a listen. This is Avenger, Fall, Devotion, War, and Blasphemy. So yeah, check it
Phantom
out.
Fish.
Well said. And everyone, take care of yourselves and each other.
Be good to each other. Or what does he say in fucking Bill and Ted? Be righteous to each other or something?
I don't know. Just go to Jerry Springer.
Jerry Springer. Yeah, I would say there's a lesson to be had here with a band like this, because how we were talking last time about like kind of the future of maybe some of the stuff that we're looking for, Paul, with like just kind of doing something like this, combining things and making it work.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think this there's a lesson to be had with this album.
yeah, they definitely do it where it's not all disjointed and hearing like, oh, here's the death metal part, the black metal part. It's all like filtered through them, as seasoned listeners and seasoned musicians too, enough to be able to make something sort of obscured, rather than on the nose death metal, black metal, doom.
And not just that, even with bands that do the mixing thing, um, I feel like these guys have like on this album especially have a unique sound that kind of does stand the test of time with like some of the more modern stuff and a lot of black metal stuff that people aren't really doing nowadays with some of the raw uh, like quote unquote demo tape projects or something like that.
Hmm. Yeah, I think definitely Mephitis is picking up that torch where it's at, where
Yeah,
these
for
guys
sure.
kind of left it.
Mhm.
But yeah, this is to good mental health. You guys have a good one.